The president's sweeping tariffs rocking the global economy, sending the stock market spiraling and leading to major anxiety on Wall Street about the pain still to come.
Immediate pain, short-term pain, long-term, nobody can really say.
The stock exchange didn't expect the tariffs to be quite so arduous in the long term, and hopefully it won't be but more than a few months where it'll settle down and people will start to see the wisdom of doing it.
The United States was in a great position. The economy was moving forward, and we've now set our position, and it's time for the rest of the world to react.
The world's reacting all right. White House correspondent Karen Travers, Capitol Hill correspondent Jay O'Brien, and also Bankrate financial analyst Stephen Cates joining me now. Karen, the alarm sounding around the world, but the Treasury Secretary is warning countries not to retaliate.
Yeah, he did, Kira, but it's a warning that will likely fall on deaf ears in capitals overseas because countries had time to prepare for this. The president made it very clear these tariffs were coming and had been talking about it, teasing it for weeks. Now, what maybe caught countries was by surprise was how deep they were, how widespread they were. So the retaliation is likely to come. I mean, we started hearing about that last night as soon as President Trump made this announcement. But now the question is, what kind of negotiation might the White House be open to? And when you hear public statements from officials, whether it's cabinet secretaries or White House officials, they say there is no negotiation when it comes to foreign leaders. But maybe the phones are open when it comes to companies calling the White House and saying, how can we talk about getting exemptions for our products? How can we see some sort of carve out here? And that could be where we see some news from the president over the next week before these tariffs go into effect. That's what certainly the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had indicated last night. But Kira, the message also could be from the White House, if you really don't want to face these tariffs, just start moving your production and making your products here in the United States.
As we know, not that easy. Jay, what are you hearing from lawmakers?
Look, we are hearing some hand-wringing from Republicans at this hour, concerned about the economic impact of these tariffs, saying some of them that they're targeting both American friends and adversaries, and that they would like those tariffs targeted towards others. I've heard from other Republican senators who say that they are watching the stock market plummet very closely. They have been wary to come out in full opposition to the president. There's one detail of note here, Kira, which is when Republican senators want to talk to you about something, they'll come, they'll stop at the camera, and they'll talk to you at length about an issue. All of the interviews we've done today on these tariffs have been on the fly, Republicans actively walking away from us and us asking them questions. And again, they say, as we're chasing them, that these tariffs, some of them are given pause by this. Others say they trust the president's handling here. But these tariffs have also given Democrats something to seize on. Here's Chuck Schumer on the Senate floor not long ago.
Yesterday, Donald Trump made one of the dumbest decisions he has ever made as president, and that's saying something. Yesterday was not Liberation Day, it was Tax Day. Donald Trump is using tariffs in the dumbest way imaginable. In fact, Donald Trump slapped tariffs on penguins and not on Putin.
He's talking about the herd in McDonald's Islands there that were also factored into these tariffs. One more thing of note here, Kira. There is a now bipartisan piece of legislation from a Democrat and Republican here in the Senate that would aim to curtail the president's ability to unilaterally just issue these tariffs. And while, again, it has a Republican co-sponsor, it's not likely to go very far, Kira.
Well, Stephen, we're already seeing the impact of these tariffs on stocks. How far do you think this could go? And do you think we'll actually see a recession?
Well, I think that there's the potential for this to go further. I think the market is still digesting quite a lot of information. We've seen the big drop this morning, and we've seen a little bit of ups and downs as people have sort of bought and sold. I think we're likely to see further drops tomorrow. Whether a recession comes, that is going to be a different story. I think everybody is watching what earnings will be coming later this month and into May. A big bite out of Q1 GDP. From all the changes in imports. So I think a lot of different indicators are showing that we're slowing. Growth and inflation are changing. But ultimately, whether we hit a recession or not is yet to be seen.
So, Stephen, we mentioned, the markets, which have seen some wild swings over the past few days, to say the least. You say that this could actually be the new normal. Explain.
Well, I think the market is allergic to uncertainty. And although we have a better idea of what tariffs are going to be, a lot of things are still very uncertain, as your correspondents have mentioned. How countries are going to react to this move, the concessions that we may or may not get on different trade policies. Ultimately, what is going to happen with consumer spending, hiring, layoffs, all of this is unknown. And we're only going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns. Karen, Jay, Stephen, thank you all. Appreciate it.